Hello, and it's Jase.
And Diane.
And first, happy holidays. I hope your holidays are merry and bright and wonderful and fantastic. And we have a super exciting day for you today. And we're trying to not blare you guys out with the white and instead center. So today's episode, we're going to talk a little bit about how sometimes in life you have to step back in order to step up. And what I mean by that is we're all going to go through tough times. I just talked to someone today who just had a breakup with someone they were dating and they're upset. And if you're in business, you've definitely had times that you were stepping back in business and you've had times that were great in business. And my point about all this is in business, there's going to be times you step back and you step up and then you keep moving forward. But before that, I want to do some updates and share with you guys some stuff that's new. So we're going to go a little bit out of order. We're going to kick off with, I have terrible news to tell you guys. I have to clean up some integrity. And here's what I need to clean up. And I'm just clicking to make sure we're good on the live. It's streaming. Great. Hey, Natalie's yes. Isaac's there. Hey, guys. So here's what I have to clean up with you guys. I told you today that we would have Napa. You can see Napa getting up on the couch. Napa has made an appearance on. Hey, Napa. Napa has made an appearance on the show. Yeah, like he's never up there. Like he's always up there. So he doesn't have a place to sit down. My backpack's in the way, and there's a pillow with. Oh, look at the face. Look at me, more interesting TV than watching my dog try and lay down on the couch, right? There you go, buddy. He's got it. So we moved the couch. Well, you guys don't know my home well enough to know, but we moved it over there because Betsy and I wanted to be able to see the fireplace and then look out the window because it was snowing last week. It was just picture perfect. So I'll give you a quick spin so you can see everything. I rearranged a bunch of my art and all that. So over here now is the fireplace Diana demonstrating. So there's the fireplace, and then it was snowing last week and it was just perfect. And we're just sitting there drinking hot cocoa and, just enjoying it. It's been fantastic. So anyway, the thing I have to clean up with my integrity is I told you we would have the world premiere of Diane's music video that she made when she was how old?
13.
13 years old. And today she informed me that she thinks it is inappropriate for social media.
Yes.
You want to share anything about that?
No, I'll just say this. At 13, I don't think that I was very clear on what was appropriate and not appropriate to put on camera.
You mean you made bad choices as a teenager?
Yes.
Anybody here, I've been thinking about this lately. Anybody here besides me ever feel mortified by some of the stuff in your past? I think about
Definitely.
When I was in my fraternity, I was thinking about this today. I had 2 roommates move out of my room, and I think it's because I was such a selfish jerk.
Aww.
I know, just horrible, right? I mean, I feel so bad. I was thinking I should call these dudes and apologize and make amends. So anyway, I'm excited. We have some awesome guests. I'll bring them on camera in a minute. So Julie and Tim, just so you know, nobody can see you guys yet. So, but anyway, I want to give you guys some updates. So where was I going? Oh, so we're not gonna be able to see that unless I can get a piece of the video that's not inappropriate to share.
I will look through it.
If we can find just 5 or 10 seconds. All right, so we're gonna go out of order. Let's go to Diane's date update. We need music. Date update.
Not a lot of an update. I did get Sprinkles a stocking because he's going to be spending Christmas with me and my family.
He has a stocking.
So he has a stocking.
Ooh, it's official now.
It's official.
Things are happening.
Definitely.
He has a stocking.
Yes. And he's going to partake in some of our very uncomfortable family traditions. We always get each family member a pair of ridiculous underpants for their stockings. So not going to say what they look like just in case.
Ridiculous underpants.
Ridiculous underpants.
Say some more, please.
In the stockings.
It's just what would be a ridiculous underpants? By the way, some shout outs real quick. Natalie's on the line. What's up, Natalie? Isaac, good to see you. Mary Ann Blair. Hello, Mary Ann. Good to see you guys. We love you guys too, and it's super awesome to see all of you. Okay, wow, we have 17 people. We've never had that many people watching before. Must be this awesome set we have behind us.
Yes, it is the season for Speakeasy.
So just if you're new to the show, we tend to kvetch and then we jump into content. We actually have some great content and some awesome guests today. So Diane's date update, is his name Sprinkle or Sprinkles?
Just one singular sprinkle.
But you just call them Sprinkles.
Well, yes. It becomes plural sometimes. It depends on what you're talking about. Because if it's something that belongs to him, it's like Sprinkles stocking.
Got it.
But it's just one singular sprinkle.
Got it.
Now,
okay.
if we have a whole bunch of children in the future, then there'll be just a batch of
Sprinkles.
They'll just be sprinkled all over the place.
I think of all these inappropriate jokes about pouring sprinkle. Never mind. Anyway, so anything else for Diane's date update?
How about Jase's date
Thought
update?
you'd never ask. Because the Diane's date update is a whole segment about dating. It's not just about Diane. So I thought you'd never ask. So I thought I'd show you some stuff and tell you some stories. I don't think we showed all this stuff before. So last Saturday, Betsy, for the first time ever, got to go in the snow. She walked on snow. And last Saturday, for the first time ever, Betsy peed in the snow.
Yes.
And if she's still with me after this live, it's true love. And last Saturday, for the first time ever, Betsy got filmed peeing in the snow. Well, I think I did tell this part. You couldn't actually see anything. I was very careful, but I captured the moment. So this is where we were. And then I'm going to stop the share because I want to reshare this with sound. So the reason we went out there is we wanted to chop down a tree. And so here we are. So here we are. We found it. What do you think?
It's perfect.
We did all shaking on all these trees all around. Did some other things for the first time.
Just
Here we go.
more trees.
Yeah, so we chopped down that tree, which was super awesome. And then to keep our adventures going, we have some friends, and I want to show you their place. And I'm going to open it up right now and share it, do another screen share with you guys, kind of catch you up on some of the cool and fun stuff that we've been doing. So give me just a minute as I get this loaded. So we have these friends, Tim and Julie. And when I was moving to Boise, I don't know if I did a search and I said, hey, if you live in Boise, message me, or I don't remember how we connected exactly. But anyway, so Tim and Julie were opening a retreat center here in Boise. And it was a total God thing how they found it. So here's what it looks like. And we'll do better pictures of it. But we went up there last weekend, and Napa got to come and hang out with us too. And so there's Tim and Julie, and there's Betsy, there's me. And what we did too that was super fun is our friend Autumn came up with Joel, and they have all this reclaimed wood because they're rehabbing the property. They saved all this old, funky, cool wood. So here's Autumn making a sign. Here's like the whole group and the kids, and we're all making signs. You can see how nice Autumn came out. And that's like an actual real horseshoe off of one of the horses that used to work there. This is me almost getting in a whole lot of trouble. And then here's our finished sign. So we had this awesome day up there, and we just got to get away and make these really, I think you could tell.
Those are beautiful.
Aren't they cool? And the kids had such a fun time too.
Did you make this one you're holding?
Yeah, it's right there.
You made it?
Yeah, I made it. Well, I didn't like plane the board. It was reclaimed wood, but I painted it, and like, here, you guys can.
Very well done.
Oh, you gonna grab it? Betsy's is over there if you want to grab Betsy's too. Yeah, so we got to do all that. It was super fun. So here's the board that I made. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount key hooks over here. And then here's Betsy's. And I'm not sure what her plan is going to be with her. So here's what we made. But more than that, what was great is we got to get away. I mean, I love Boise already. And we got to go up there, and it's just quiet. At night, if it had been clear, you can see the Milky Way, you could see everything, and just get away from the tree. And it's one of those places,
Beautiful.
Yeah, when you're up there, that's just so sweet. There's baby goats. They have little baby goats there, and like, and then there's so you know how hard it is to catch a chicken? You ever try to catch a chicken?
Yes, I've tried
They're
to
so.
catch a chicken.
So I told Joel's kid, I said, "Hey, I'll pay you $1 if you catch a chicken." He ran around after the chickens for 40 minutes and he wound up catching a chicken. I couldn't believe it. He came back. He's carrying the chicken. He's like, "I got a chicken."
I got a chicken.
We were like, we were like, "No, don't put him down," because we wanted a picture when he put him down. But we had such a good time and just kind of got away. And so coming to the content of today and what I want to share with you guys and talk about is really that there's times in life we're going to step back in order to step up. And I had an epiphany for myself on that just recently. And it was this. So when I teach, I'm going to draw this for you guys. And this comes from a book called Mastery by George Leonard. Here's the path of mastery. And I teach this at my events. And if you're a coach, speaker, author, trainer, I encourage you to put a conversation similar to this into your teaching. And so here's what it means. Tell me if the whiteboard comes out. When you come into a learning environment, you have a certain amount of knowledge, experience, money. So let this axis over here on the left represent how much you know, how much it looks good money you have, how much time you have. So those are the big three areas, or how much results you have in a certain area of life. And then what happens, so we have a certain amount, and most people, they kind of fight through and they never step back. But what happens, either life does it to us or we choose it intentionally. We take a step back, and that means we give up some time, we give up some money, we give up some energy. So for me, when I'm selling the seminar, I want to press upon people the time and money that they're going to spend going to this event. They're going to have knowledge come in that allows them to have growth. And then we never remember everything we learned. So there's a little step back and then we hit the plateau. So what masterful people do is they are always on the path of mastery and learning. So they have another step back. Then they have even greater growth, like bigger than this paper, then a step back, then a plateau. And they stay on this path of mastery. So here's the step back that I just recently got for myself. And I don't know what made it come clear for me. It was yesterday. I do know what made it come clear. So you guys, what's a big step back that I had in my life this year that if you've been following our journeys, it was like all of July. What was the big step back that I had? Anybody know? Anybody remember? Yes, I broke my leg. So it wasn't just a little step back. It was like a big step back. Like I was laid up all of July.
Yes, you were.
And like today we had to do this thing where we had to squat for 3 minutes. And it was so painful. I had so much pressure on my leg, but I like held on to the weight to keep me down. But here's what I got as the big breakthrough. Because of that, I met my out-of-pocket deductible on my insurance. And that made me say, I want to get every test I could ever get done and like do everything. So I got all the testing done, discovered I had low thyroid, so I need to take thyroid medicine. I wanted to be tested for sleeping. Turns out I have sleep apnea, so now I have a machine, which I'm having a real mental, emotional problem with wearing this machine. But I do feel like I have more energy now. I'm feeling my health and vitality coming up, even though I'm only able to wear this thing 4 hours a night. You all right over there?
Yeah, I just sneeze.
And then another thing is I started going to this chiropractor that I'd been thinking about going, but now I've been kind of hemmed up because it's pretty expensive, but our insurance covers portion. Then I'm going to pay the rest. And he has belts like we do a black belt. And like people rank up and they start as white, yellow, orange, and they rank up as they go through. And it feels to me world class, the place. And then not only, so when you go in, you do physical therapy, exercises, and then traction, and then adjusting. But then they have a whole home study portal where you log in and has videos on how to do everything. And then they have a system where if you do your exercises if you do your exercises 7 days a week, it's acceptable. Like that's it. And like, but if you do it 11 times a week, you will blow us away and you get more points. And so they've gamified all of it. And so what I got was, while the leg sucked, the leg's awesome. While breaking the leg sucks, it was a step back that's caused me to look at how I wanted to run the business and stuff. And so, I physically wasn't able to travel and I had someone fill in for me, which then made me go, that person filled in well, they could fill in some more. I don't have to travel as much, or we could have multiple speakers out there. And then it got me thinking, I don't want to have to hit the road for business. I want the option to. And so I said, I've been talking about doing my internet marketing. So just this week, you guys, I committed, it's like a $30-something thousand commitment to getting my Facebook stuff going. So I have now had, why are we getting feedback? Huge growth. Are you muted?
I am.
You're not in the Zoom, right?
Just this week,
Nope.
you got
Okay, cool. So I'm going to have huge growth this coming year because I'm really getting my health going, recommitted to working out the way I hadn't before because I get the physical, I have to just walk, otherwise it hurts all the time. Getting the sleep apnea handled, getting the hyperthyroid handled, getting other physical stuff handled, getting this chiropractor thing going to make myself stronger and better than ever that way, getting this internet marketing going, and like Profit Factory, like I was like, I got to get this going. So what I got is that step back I had. There's going to be huge growth coming out of all this. So I'm primed for 2020 in a way that I haven't been before because last July I had this huge step back. So my point for all of you that are watching is in life, there's times it's going to suck. And either life gives you seminars or you give you seminars. So now I've done a combo. Like life had me go through the experience of breaking my leg, step back, but then also, you guys know I went to onsite. Then I did a week-long intensive out there. So there's another step back, and now I'm gonna have great growth in relationships. And then paying for this internet marketing is a step back with immediate cash, but long-term great growth.
Yeah.
And the step backs, I really believe this, they cause you to get creative. So I'm like, I need to get some more, I just committed 30,000. I need to get some more sales going. So I called up some people I've been thinking about doing work with, and we have a meeting with them today. And one of the things we're looking for is a venue for here. And so they actually have this venue. It's about 30 minutes out of town, and you drive in it, and it is like, how do I put this with keeping, the person who owns it was one of the top people in a certain network marketing company, like super, super, super wealthy. So he built houses for his family all over this giant estate.
Wow.
And so you walk in or drive in, and it's just gorgeous. And then they have this private meeting facility. And because I'm teaming up with these guys, we can use this facility, and it's just outstanding. So step back, step up, work. And that brings me to anything you want to chip in on? I'm just talking.
Oh no, I was gonna say I really experienced that when I broke my back. Do
you guys remember? Do you guys know that watching at home? Literally, I don't think people get the impact of it because you're so complete with it. Like, you're not like a big victim to it or anything.
No, and it was 10 years ago. But I was hit and ran over by a truck, and I broke my back between L1 and L2. And I was paralyzed from the waist down for several months. And then as I regained feeling, I had to relearn how to walk and things like that. But I was having a really hard struggle getting back up to just where I was at prior to the accident, as far as balance and things like that go. And after the accident, I discovered acrobatic yoga, which uses a lot of core strength, but the majority of the time you're upside down. And so I figured out that by using acro yoga, I could develop my strength from the top down instead of from the bottom up. And it improved my balance and my overall health and everything like that. And I took my body way further than I ever would have taken my body if that accident hadn't happened.
That is so cool.
So I definitely think those physical step backs can really push us forward, as well as the emotional step backs and the financial step backs. Great motivation to push yourself harder than you ever have before in your life.
Yeah, buddy. And then along those lines, what's really cool is when you have that step back and then you get a step up, usually there is a breakthrough with it, or something changes you mentally, emotionally. No matter what, though, when you're sharing your story as a speaker, part of what you're sharing is you share the rough times, but not to just milk the emotion. You share it because you learned something in those rough times that got you through, and then the rest of the world gets it. So Diane gets this acro yoga, she gets being upside down, and so now by her beingness, this is something that she will share out with the rest of the world. And so this will become something that the rest of the world gets because she got it. That makes sense, right? So one of the things she got is like taking things on physically. And so is it okay if I share this?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Diane got her kids into, she mentioned acro yoga. Her kids are doing silks. And so I'm going to show you just a quick piece of this. Her kids were in a show recently. I don't know if the audio is working on it. Oh, you know what? It's not. Doesn't matter though. How long till door? Do you still get nervous?
Yes, I still get nervous even watching it sometimes.
So kudos to you. You're a good mom. Because she got over her stuff and faced her fear. Now she can open the space for her kids to be the same. And you as a speaker, as you triumph over things or as an entrepreneur, you open the space for people to do the same and to go for it. And so I think that's a perfect segue. I'm so excited to bring on our guest today. It's Tim and Julie. And so I showed you guys the ranch where we went. So let's go to gallery view. Welcome to the show, everybody. Tim and Julie. Well, I guess Tim Campbell, Julie Bolton. Welcome to the show, guys. Good to have
Welcome,
you.
guys.
Let's make sure we can hear you. I turned my volume. All right, go ahead and say something. Make sure we can hear you.
Can you hear us?
Perfect.
All right.
Got a little bit of feedback thing though, huh? So
It's the fan on our laptop, I think.
online, let us know if you get a bunch of this feedback or if it's okay, because I'm hearing a little hum on our end. So maybe just we'll mute you between times you're speaking. So tell us who you are, what you do. Tell us about the ranch, and then give us a quick intro, and then I want to talk about your path to discovering this and how you really trusted God, and then some of the challenges you guys have faced and some step backs, and then how that's going to be a step up for you. And you guys, one of the things, when you're in the process of the step back, it just sucks sometimes. It doesn't look like, oh, this is great. But an image I take is, you pull back a slingshot. I imagine giant slingshots around me and I'm being pulled back so I could be launched. And but you guys at home, I want you to know, I know it doesn't always feel right. So who are you? Tell us about you.
Well, we're Tim and Julie Campbell. We are the stewards of Seven Springs Ranch up here in Emmett, Idaho. It's a 57-acre facility that we're converting into a Christian retreat and event center. And it's been a year now. And just some exciting news for you right out of the bat, Jase. You did not hear this. Yesterday we got our first building permit. So
That's
we're
awesome.
excited about that. And you know what? We just we were called up here by the man upstairs. The big guy said, "You guys need to go to Emmett." Why Emmett? We had no idea, but we actually love this community. They've embraced us. We've embraced them. And this is my beautiful wife, Julie, and I'll let her give you a little background.
Hey, do you guys have headphones you can plug in or anything? Because we are getting a little
We
heavy.
looked. We couldn't find a set.
And when we did the audio off the phone, it gave you guys, you could hear that somebody else had the echo. That was because we were trying the audio off our phone with our headset.
Everybody watching, let's just deal with it. By the way, you guys are getting a massive amount of hearts.
Yes.
Part of the reason I had them on, well, I'll share after you share the story for you guys watching at home. I'll tell you part of the reason I had them on, which is a real win. So go ahead, Julie. So tell us how. Yeah, and by the way, how many of us thought, why Idaho? And yet it's magic. Yep, all we have is snow and potatoes.
Yep.
Snow and potatoes. Unless you're coming to Seven Springs.
Tons and tons of snow. Roads are blocked right now. You can't go anywhere. So
Yep.
don't come to Idaho right now.
Unless you're coming to Seven Springs Ranch or one of my seminars.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. So,
Right.
how long ago?
Go.
Okay,
Year and a half.
year and a half ago, Tim had a massive heart attack. He went into cardiac arrest for over the period of time, 45 minutes in the ER. They got a pulse, got him up to the cath lab, another 45 minutes. Doctors said he wasn't going to make it. They said they could give us no hope, that he probably, if he came to, he would be brain dead and would never walk again, talk again. And I explained to the doctors that my hope didn't come from them, it came from God. I mean, pretty big God to bring someone 90 minutes without a pulse, and there had to be a reason. And in that process, as they did all their heroic efforts, they broke all his ribs, broke his sternum, broke his collarbone. So he was down. He did make it out of the hospital. A day and a half later, he was sitting up in bed, just breathing with a little nose oxygen, talking beautifully. It was a miracle, absolute miracle. In fact, the entire staff of the hospital called him the Miracle Man. People who had nothing to do with his case were coming in, wanted to shake hands with the Miracle Man. And so we just knew. He asked our pastor and I when we were in the hospital, why me? And he wasn't asking, why me, poor me, why did I have a heart attack? He said, why did I get spared? Guys a lot younger than me don't make it through this. And both our pastor and I at the same time said, well, this part wasn't about you. It was just showing everybody that God is here, he's powerful, and miracles do still take place. But what comes next is all about you. And we didn't know what that meant, what we were going to be called to do, but we just knew we would say yes. And that's scary. That's scary. And the yes came in the form of Seven Springs Ranch in Emmett, Idaho. Never would have thought we would make it here.
Shouldn't have. We, as you could imagine, after having a heart attack and all of that, you don't have any resources left. We exhausted all of our financial resources. But we put it in God's hands, and God brought some investors together to put this whole thing together. The owners of the property saw our vision of creating this amazing location for people to come to from the community, from over the hill, from all kinds of places. And we were able to acquire this piece of property. And you know what? It's been an amazing journey, but I gotta say, the most amazing part of it is, I gotta say it, Satan has been after us. He does not want this ranch here. The number of tires that we've blown in our trucks and trailers
And
motors and accidents. This big scar on my face is from me going through a windshield when a truck broke and I ended up in a ravine. Now I understand I'm also on blood thinners because I have a heart attack, so I could have bled out that day, but thanks to our son Gavin, who ran up to get Julie, I got to the hospital in time and they saved me. Julie had a log to the face at a campground.
Wait, a log to the face? Hold on real quick. Hold on. I want to pause you guys also. Those of you watching, we have a mixed view in the audience, and some of our people are Christians, some of them are non-Christian, some of them don't believe in God. So quick background for those of you who maybe don't have a Christian background. And part of our things, everyone's welcomed and loved. In Christianity, they talk about there's God, but there's also devil. And so some people believe that like good exists, but evil is just the absence of good. I used to believe that, but I don't believe that anymore. The Bible says that there's an evil entity and it prowls around like a lion. It wants to steal, kill, and destroy. And I believe that. And what I also believe is if there's literally a war going on and someone's about to make a big offensive for one side, well, then the other side wants to stop that offensive, so they attack. And so, well, it's not always the prettiest thing to take on as a belief. One of the beliefs I have is sometimes when you're really making ground for the kingdom and for God, there's a lot of enemy. And then the other way you could put it, and Napoleon Hill actually talked about this. My friend Greg Reed wrote a book. It was like a follow-up to Think and Grow Rich. And that's where we actually connected. It was one of Greg's seminars. And but Greg called it the resistance, and Napoleon Hill called it the resistance. And so if you don't believe in the spiritual battles, just take on, when you're going to do something big for the world, there's going to be or could be a massive amount of resistance. And that could be your own internal resistance, your own internal, like what I've been dealing with Profit Factories. I was resisting it for years. but it could also be an external resistance. So like literally they've had tires go. Tim got in a car accident, was thrown through the window. Julie evidently took a log to the face, which I want to hear more about this. So just know that there could be resistance. And that's one of the reasons, you guys, you got to get in a community. You got to plug in with people who support you. And you've got to make the commitment to get it done before or as soon as you can in the journey, because committing after resistance starts, it typically leads to quitting. But if you commit before the resistance, then things keep going. Hey, we had some new people join. My mom joined. Hi, Mom. Chris Wallace joined. Hi, Chris. Brenda Merrill joined. Hey, Brenda. Good to see you guys. So anyway, so go ahead, Julie.
Day before Gavin started school, in August, I took him camping with some friends, and I still to this day don't know what happened, but I was heading to the restroom through this stand of trees, and all of a sudden I just got clobbered in the face with a tree branch, and broke my nose, tore my cheek up. My lips don't work as well as they did before, and all I heard was, oh, beep, and laughter and footsteps. So I don't know if it was kids doing shenanigans. I mean, it sounded like young voices, and maybe they saw something on YouTube they wanted to try, whatever it was. I was so disoriented. I did not find the camp. I could not figure out where our camp was. I finally found it. Called my friend quietly. I went into my tent, called my friend because I didn't want to scare Gavin, and she came and just started screaming. I'm like, oh, it must be really bad, because it was one of those campgrounds with no mirrors, and
yeah,
probably a blessing and all that. But and so as we're doing this, we have these big events coming up, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to go out looking like this, and I just realized, you know what, I got to do it anyway. I mean, these people are coming. We had event after event after event, and it was really important. And so I put some sunglasses on, and I, tried to make myself look as decent as I did. And then actually it gave me an opportunity to share the story about just, you know what, do it anyway. And we got such amazing feedback, just because, something bad happens, but then, good stuff just gets poured all over it. If you just realize, okay, whether it's resistance or the enemy, I'm trying to be stopped here, and I'm not going to. And so, yeah, that was August, and my nose is sort of straight now because I kept pulling on it. But we just keep going, and this journey, Jase, we did meet at a seminar, and what happened is I kept watching you on Facebook, and we connected on Facebook, and you said, hey, I'm moving to Boise, going to start doing events there. And I said, hey, Jase, I just moved to near Boise, and I'm opening an event center. So that's how we reconnected.
Oh,
and
so cool.
As we've been doing this, there's been times like when we put in an offer on this place, we absolutely knew we couldn't do it. And so
Hey, hold on, before you go to that piece, I want to pause real quick.
Yeah.
Those of you watching on Facebook or wherever, what was your piece of wood to the face? What's the thing that's happened to you that took you out of the blue? You had no idea it was coming, and maybe you even heard people laughing and footsteps. Because I know for a lot of us, when you're up to big stuff and things go sideways, some people want to laugh and giggle or celebrate but you know what? The people who do that are people who aren't stepping up and playing big, because the people who are stepping up and playing big know what it's like to take it to the face. But then we also go, hey, you've just paid some of your dues. Welcome. That's part of the game. And now let's keep going. So, Julie, welcome. That's part of the game. And that means something good's happened. And then out of that, she got to either develop or express, hey, that's all right. Just keep going. And now she can share that message. So for you guys, please post in the comments. What's yours? And by the way, we're giving you lots of mad props, like lots of likes and thumbs up on that, on saying that. So awesome, Julie. So yeah, how did you guys discover this place? And then what's your vision for it? And also for you guys watching, part of the reason I wanted you to see this, and I'll share it now, is it's going to be this amazing retreat center where it's only maybe an hour, 45 minutes to an hour drive from the airport. But it's like a whole nother world. And if you want to hold retreats where people get to get away, get refreshed, get in nature, and have a memory and experience they will treasure forever, then this could be it. And you guys aren't limiting it just to Christians. I mean, you're doing it for God. And, do you not let non-Christians come, or who gets to come there?
Yeah, everybody can come, and that's the whole thing. We want the community to be here. We want to hold weddings. How cool would it be if you want to do because it's kind of a Western theme that we're building this around. So what if you wanted to do a pretty cool Western? In fact, we got some pictures we'll show you where we just did a wedding shoot, a style shoot up here with all the horses and all the cowboys, and it's pretty cool. So we'll share that in a minute. But you know what? We shouldn't have found it. We weren't really looking for it, and it came up on a search engine. I called Julie because she was in Seattle at the time. I said, hey, you want to make a little detour through Idaho and look at a piece of property? She went, woohoo, road trip. So she came over here, saw the place, and it was awesome. I mean, it was more than we thought it would be, and it was also more entailed. Involved.
Yeah, well,
than
you
we
know,
thought it would be.
Jase, a lot of work.
You know what it's about. We're taking buildings down, and we've got we've been working for a year just to get our first building permit.
Yeah, explain to people that so they can get that, because that sounds weird. Like, why would it take a year to get a building permit?
Well, because there was what we're going to consider code violations that had to be cleared first. So they weren't going to let us do new work until the old stuff was fixed.
Yeah.
And we knew the old stuff was there. It's not like we came into it not knowing it was there. It's just been it's been a lot. So we're looking for hands and feet and dollars to help get this place going, because we need bodies. We need bodies come up, like you said, come up, pull nails, or paint some fence, or build a building, or all these different things. So it's been a pretty amazing journey so far. We wouldn't trade it for anything.
I want to step back 1 second, because we did see Tim right after we met you, Jase. Tim started having these dreams, intense dreams, with this picture of this place with rolling hills and kind of an event center with this place up on a hill where people could gather, and we could start doing seminars and meetings, and never pictured what we're doing now because we weren't in that place in our lives. Yeah. And so we would go all over when we lived in California. We would go to Paso Robles and out to Temecula and trying to find, is this the place? Is this where you're picturing? Because it was so, he could draw it. It was so clear to him. And he wasn't looking for this when he stumbled around upon this. And when he came back up with me about a week after I came, he's like, this is it. This is absolutely what I've been picturing. But that was 7 years later. And so we knew we couldn't do it. We knew we had no means of doing it. So when we put the offer in, it was terrifying. We're like, what are we thinking? The sellers saw our vision and heard our testimony, and they're like, when we first met them, they're like, don't even think I'm going to carry paper for you. It's just not going to happen. Don't even ask me to carry paper. And then he heard our testimony, and we walked around the place, and then 2 days later, he shook Tim's hand and he said, I'll carry paper for you folks. Not all of it, but and said, and I won't sell it to anyone else until you tell me you don't want it or you can't do it. So, I mean, don't ever give up on that idea that stuff can't happen, because the possibilities are endless. And when we put the offer in, the partners that we were coming into it with couldn't sell their business in time and had to back out. But we had already packed all of our stuff into a trailer, and we were sitting in an empty house. And so we called the sellers and we said, hey, our partners backed out. And they said, we'll give you 30 more days. So we sat in an empty house with a mattress on the floor, our clothes in a laundry basket, and this little sign. Our neighbors had wrapped some banana bread in a sign that said, God's got this. So we kept taking that little piece of paper and sticking it different places in the house when we were discouraged and panicking and thinking, what are we doing? And literally sitting on hardwood floors. And just this team got brought together. Okay, here's this, my cousin.
Hold on, before you go forward. Such a good point. Like, people don't see this too, because when someone's going to see that retreat center a year or two, and it's going to be just gorgeous, and they're not going to know the story of you sitting on a mattress on the floor with all your clothes in a laundry basket. But that's like, I wish, maybe that's why I'm saying it now. I wish more people had said that when I was learning to grow business and be an entrepreneur. Like, some people talked about it, but they talked about it in a way that's like, here's what I went through and I'm amazing. But it's more like, almost everybody goes through that. I don't know anyone who's in business who hasn't had a time of going, I didn't know how we were going to make payroll that month. it's just, and I used to think if my business was going, there's never a cash flow crunch. It's total crap. There's not a whole industry and business of business lines of credit if there wasn't a history of cash crunches for businesses, right? It's just a part of it. So it's awesome. By the way, some new shout outs. Zach Ida's joined, Crystal joined, Trey Richards joined. What's up, guys? Good to see you. So yeah, and those of you that don't have faith in something bigger, I don't know how to tell you to get through those hard times. For me, one of the things I hang on to is it says, for those who love God and are called, all things work together for those who love God and are called according to his purposes. So I love God and I believe I'm called according to his purposes. So that means no matter what happens, it works for my best. It's going to work for good. In the moment, sometimes I say it like, all things freaking work, like in the moment, it doesn't feel pretty. And it's there in that faith. So if you guys, someone's watching, you don't have faith, find something to pin your faith on. Get into believe something's bigger than you. Most every 12 step has something where there's a higher power, because we're not enough, but our higher power is enough. So anyway, that's cool. You guys, I can't wait till you tell that story. I wish you, do you have a picture of the mattress and the clothes hamper?
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
Of the empty house.
go get the God's got this. We have a couple pictures, but
Good.
actually I got more pictures in the trailer packed with our entire household in it.
Yeah.
If you want me to grab it, I can put it up there for you, or I can share it with you later.
No, but I do want you to find them for when you start doing presentations down the road. And for you guys watching that are speakers, when you're you guys, I have pictures on my phone of me in agony on the side of the trail right after I broke my leg. And it's not like I was going, great marketing op, but it was more, I knew at some point I'm going to want to tell that story. And when I show people that picture of me in agony, they just get it. And if they happen to look at the part of my leg that's moved over from where it should be, they really get it. And so when you're going through those crap times, take those pictures, document it, because when you come out, and you will come out if you keep going, it's going to be a part of your story as a speaker, as an author, as a trainer, as a world changer. And so you want to have that available to put it into your book, into your movie. And so, I've taken pictures of people in the hospital and I was like, oh, I hope they don't kill me, but they're really going to appreciate this later. So same thing for you guys. Anyway, you got it. So go ahead, Julie. So what do you got?
So here's our little God's got
That's
this.
the one?
Oh,
That's it.
Look at
What's
it.
he look on it since? Oh, pull it up.
Say that again?
it looks well loved.
Yeah. Hey, Rebecca just joined. Emil just joined. Hi, guys. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Speakeasy with Jase. All right, so keep going. So tell us that you were about to say how you got through something, or a payment was due, or something like that.
What was I gonna say?
I don't know. I interrupted you. You were talking about like when you did the contract, or the team that showed up, I think.
Yeah, we had a bunch of people come in and join us at the last minute, and we have a good friends of our family who he was going through cancer at the time, and we were doing a prayer night at our church, and we were all praying over him, and just to get the cancer out of it. And when he got done, he turns, he gives me this big bear hug. He goes, and we really weren't friends then. We didn't know each other very well then. And he says, you know what? All I kept hearing was, talk to Tim. You need to be involved in the ranch. And this was on a Sunday. No, it was a Sunday morning this happened. And he said, you need to come over this afternoon. How much money are you short? We told him to come over. We'll take care of that. So that was 2 days before we closed escrow.
So would you guys say that God's done some big things for you in this process?
Oh my
Huge.
goodness.
Yeah.
So here, for you guys watching that are thinking about like, what's your dream and how do you make it happen? If you don't put yourself in a position where God has to show up, he can't show up big.
Right.
And like, I have people who call themselves Christians or a faith, and like they're looking at buying a seminar or doing something, and like, oh man, I want to, and I feel like God wants me to, but I don't have the money. And I believe they're literally saying, you're not big enough. Because if you feel like it's in God, like God wants you to do it, and you feel it's pulled in the right thing to do, then we have to let go and move like this, and then trust God's going to show up. But too few people put themselves in that position to trust. And I really believe, and part of the reason I bought that internet marketing thing is I was looking at it and I was like, it was one of the biggest commitments business coaching I've made in a while. And I was like, all right, how am I going to take this on? Am I going to get scared, or am I going to trust that God's going to show up and I'm going to do the work and they're going to do the work and amazing stuff? So I took that leap as well. But yeah, and I think God does make those promises in a way, but he doesn't go, on the 15th, I'm going to give you this check. He just says, everything's going to work out. And sometimes working out means you lose the business, but you grow and learn as a person. It prepares you for the next, as long as you keep going. So back to you.
I can't tell you how many times we have said when our bank account was at zero, we needed to pay bills.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, Father God, help us out. And a check comes.
Yeah.
Or a payment comes, or a donation comes in. And it's happened. Or we needed a vehicle and a truck shows up. Or we needed, all these things. And the best part of it is the more we lean into him, the better this walk is.
That's awesome.
I
Do you have a
think
trick? Do you have a trick or technique or tip on leaning into him? How do you lean into him?
Well, I think everyone, a lot of people like to say, well, God will never give me more than I can handle. Oh, yeah, he will. He will every time, because he wants you to lean into him. He's going to take you, strip you, and put you completely out of your comfort zone so that you have to trust, because you can't do it yourself. It's way bigger than you. And I know God in our lives in this journey loves to show up at 11:59:59 or 12:02.
Comment to that. Hey, can we pause the show for a second? Betsy's here. Betsy, come on over and say hi. Everybody, it's Betsy.
It's Betsy.
Who was totally trying to run away and not be on the show at all.
Hi.
So,
Hi, Tim and Julie.
by the way,
Hi.
as a
Hi.
time out in our show right here, we also positioned the tree here because Betsy and I decorated this tree. It was
Yeah.
her first tree to ever decorate.
For sure. It's been exciting. Very
It's been
nice.
awesome.
Wow.
I like
So
the
much.
fake snow.
It looks beautiful. Good job.
Thank you. We covered this puppy in fake snow and ornaments and stuff. Yeah, it's been super fun. Thanks for coming.
You're welcome.
I'll pay later. Okay, so back to you guys. So sorry, thanks for letting me take that time out. I just want to comment on one other thing though, along those lines about money and all that other stuff, like trusting and leaning into God. Have you ever heard people say like, "Hey, you just got to believe in yourself"? And I was asking someone about that recently. Like, what does that mean? Because on the one hand, I think confidence is so important, and I've met people who have like supposedly all this faith in God, but then they think they're a piece of crap, and I'm like, that doesn't sound great. But then meet other people like, I'm so great, and there's no space for God. I think God made you, so you're pretty darn amazing, whether you believe in God or not. And then God can do everything. I do believe this though. What I get peace in is I don't have to be enough. Like I don't have to know I'm good enough for something. And when I trust that God is good enough and big enough, then I could be whatever, but God's got it. And what can't God get? And that brings me all kinds of peace and courage and faith. So
I think the biggest thing for leaning in, that was the question you brought up a little bit ago, is you need to be having conversations with him all the time. Not when just times go bad. When times are good, have conversations. Talk to him all the time, because once you get that line of communication going, you hear from him a lot. I'm amazed at how often you hear from him. And that's a key. I mean, I can't tell you how many times we've wanted to see, animals on the property and they just show up, or it's unbelievable how much he's around and he's involved. And so we just thank him every morning and say our prayers 25 times a day.
Well, and I think if you don't stay focused on that, on the positive, on the possibilities, that's when, whether you want to call it resistance or the enemy, that's when those messages in your head, you're not good enough. How could you think you could do this monumental thing? You don't have the skill set. You're broke, whatever it is. But if you keep focused, keep surrounding yourself with positive people, surrounding yourself with people who will pour into you, encourage you. Don't isolate yourself. Don't let yourself get alone, because that's when all those messages come in, and that's how the enemy makes God look small, because he wants you to think God's not big enough to come in and fill the gap between what you can and what you can't do.
Yep. Isolation, you guys, is one of the worst. It's like, sorry, but like,
I'm just listening.
if you look at all those documentaries in Africa and the lions, tigers, whatever are going to chase something, they don't go after the one in the middle of the pack. They go after the one on the side of the pack that's alone or hurting or not paying attention. So being alone is the opposite way to do it. Quick shout outs. Prentice, what's up, buddy? It's good to see you, man. And Janelle, hi, Janelle, good to see you as well. So what I'd love for you to do is to share a little bit those pictures, and as you're sharing the pictures, kind of talk about your vision for the property. And then for you guys watching at home, if you're a coach, speaker, author, trainer, they're not ready yet to rent the space out for people to stay there, and they can host some events and workshops up there, and there's hotels right nearby. This could be an amazing opportunity for you guys. And then also for all of you watching, part of what I want you to get with these guys taking this leap is they brought this property and they've not been allowed to like use it as a retreat center yet because of the stuff that was in place. So they're spending their money and time, and they're having faith that, you know, people will contribute to the place or whatever happens, so that they can get it up to code, so that then they can do other stuff. And then eventually the vision is, you know, making it a full stay at retreat center. And I can't wait till that happens, because I'm so excited to come up there and host events. I'll probably get like a permanent apartment. Natalie says by March. No, Natalie, it will not be ready by March. And we could all go visit this place. Well, actually, we talked about having core up there at March. So maybe not. So Natalie's in Black Belt. So everyone who's watching gets, that's my year-long speaker training. And in March, we have a 3-day event where we write presentations. And Natalie's coming up along with a bunch of other Black Belts to Boise for that. We're going to take people to a hot springs, and maybe we'll take them up there. We actually were, Diane had that idea that we could, was that Nair or was it Betsy's?
To go to the hot spring?
No, to go to their place.
Oh, to
core.
go to their place.
Maybe it was Betsy had
I
it.
think it was Betsy's idea.
Betsy's idea. Thanks, Betsy. So we were, there's hotels right nearby, and then we could come up and talk about just being away and in a place that's inspirational. Oh, it's just gorgeous there. It is so cool. So we're in the talks, but if nothing else, we can go by and visit. So anyway, so what's your vision? And you guys know how to screen share, right?
Yep, doing it right now.
Cool.
I got to put my glasses on to see it. Hold on. All right, so what we've got here, that's who we are. We're Seven Springs Ranch in Emmett, Idaho. This is a view from our hill behind, it's up behind the house. This is the view of the valley, which is pretty amazing.
That's gorgeous.
And then this is actually the campus, looking down from our back pasture. And these are some of the buildings that are already in place, looking down to where we're going to be at. And then recently we were just written up in Christian Living magazine, and we've been written up a lot. People are really excited about this and are really behind us getting this going forward.
You're getting so many likes and loves right now. This is what I love. You haven't been up there yet, have you? It's hard to explain. It's one of those places, if you guys have ever been to a place where like you go there and you're like, oh my gosh, you got to go. It's so amazing. Like this is one of those places. Like we brought up Joel and Autumn, and they were like, oh, this was like Joel like wants to come back and help. And you would love it if you brought the girls up. So, and it looks like the downtown area of the yeah, it's all done like Old Western.
That's cool.
So there's even like an old what's it called where a guy makes thing with metal?
Blacksmith shop.
Yeah, blacksmith shop. And they have like hundreds of the horseshoe over my door is from this place.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
This was last week, actually. Remember we said it snows up here?
Mm-hmm.
This is a picture from last week.
Wow.
But that building right there is the original homestead house. This was part of the original Oregon territory. So it was one of those 640-acre parcels that the government would give a couple if they would move there, build a homestead house, and either farm it or ranch it. So that house has a whole lot of history in it. It's pretty cool.
That's cool. So cool.
This is the fall, and we, for whatever reason, we have in the fall thousands and thousands, I'd say hundreds of thousands of sunflowers across all of the property.
Wow.
It's pretty amazing. It's a sea of yellow.
And the whole back part of the property is just amazing for hiking and horseback riding. And we butt up to accessible federal lands. It backs up to our property. So that's another 800 acres of hiking, horseback riding. You can do anything on it, just can't build a structure.
And this is what we've been doing to get that permit, is taking down buildings. And this was one that just recently came down. This is a bunch of gentlemen from the Emmett Nazarene Church who came over and helped tear this thing down.
And the saddest thing is that was one of the coolest looking buildings, but what he did is he built this amazing facade in front of a 40-foot fifth wheel. He even framed out the windows and the door.
He being the previous owner.
Yes.
Yes, the previous owner. And, but the way he had the electrical running to it and the septic, it was absolutely a code violation. And sadly, he had to come down.
Yeah. Hold on, got some comments on here. Natalie Betsy says it's so nice. Natalie says, looks like a little more than snow and potatoes to me. Yes, it is. Seven Springs Ranch and my events are more than snow and potatoes. Everyone else, snow and potatoes. So
So this is another work crew that came in the distance. We call it the schoolhouse. We're going to move it from its current location down into what we call the shot you saw that we call Cowboy Alley, and make it into a game room for retreats. It's pretty nice size office modular, but then we will build it out to give it that Western feel. And where they're standing and where the schoolhouse is will be two of our bunk houses. We want to house 120, and we do anticipate being open by March. That's that thinking big. Up to this point, we have spent 15 months deconstructing. We did not get to build one thing except a new porch on the event center until now. So
awesome.
We're pretty excited to have this permit in front of us. In May, we did a wedding style shoot, and photographers and stylists and wedding gown designers and all sorts of people came together to use the ranch to do a Western styled wedding. And it was pretty amazing what they put together to, show what can be at the ranch and how they could utilize a really rustic, neat venue to do that type of a wedding. This is our current event center. We hosted Cowboy Camp meeting a couple months ago, and pretty awesome. People came from 5 states, and for 4 days they did country gospel music. They had people who gave just amazing sermons, and then they just people lingered and they stayed around a campfire at night and picked
awesome.
their banjos and played their guitars, and it was an amazing 4 days, probably one of the most spirit-filled 4 days I've ever experienced.
Hold on before you go on. Rewind to. Do you know what Cowboy Church is?
No.
So here's how Cowboy Church was explained to me. Well, Julie, Tim, where did Cowboy Church come from?
That's a great question. Don't know.
Oh, here's how it was explained to me. I think one of the people playing at it. So if you look up there, they have a keyboard, so that's cheating. Real Cowboy Church is all guitars. And so what they told me is, like, after the rodeos or after the, where the cowboys were, they could travel with guitars. So they would get together and all the worship would be on guitars. And so what the one I saw up there was just like 5 or 6 guitars, different kinds of guitars on stage.
Yeah, it usually is. It's amazing because what they do is they hold their church normally on Saturday nights because they're working every day. So they go to church on Saturday nights, and this cowboy group, there's these cowboy churches all over everywhere, and they're all non-denominational, and their pastors are rock solid, salt of the earth kind of people.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I want to put the next one. Let me know the next one, please, because look at how they pick and play all night afterwards, and it looks so fun. Can you show that next
they
picture?
stayed till 1 a.m, but I do have to give a shout out to the lady at the keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
She and her husband, who's behind the post, you can't see him. He has the most unbelievable voice, and she and he both were at the Country Music Awards repeatedly receiving awards, and they stepped away from it because they felt like they had a higher calling to create their church. They started a church over in Homedale, and it's called Church in the Dirt. Hats are welcome is their tagline, and they're just unbelievable, amazing people. And a lot of the people that are up here that were on stage stepped away from really big careers to do something beyond themselves. So that was pretty cool.
That's
This
cool.
is afterwards. This is that new deck. This was the first thing we actually got to build here. Is we had to put a new deck in because The old one fell apart. This is the little entrance to the event center. And this is the vision for our commercial bathroom we're getting ready to build, which we got to have in so you guys can come up. So that's on our plate for here later this winter. And
Yeah, because currently we only have one porta potty and it says, please knock, there's no lock. It probably wouldn't work so well for one of your events, Jase.
But so here's that blacksmith shop you were talking about, Jase, and this is, back when they were having events here, they definitely filled this place up. And then from there, this was last year this time when we just had an amazing little snow, and then one of those brilliant Idaho sunsets.
And so basically this is at the top of the hill. There's two houses at the top. One's a guest house that is available to rent through Airbnb. And then there's our house. And this was from the deck of our house looking down at the event center, what will be the commercial kitchen, the smaller building next to it, the original homestead house, and the rest of the buildings.
So let me jump in right there, you guys. If you're someone who wants to get away and do some planning, like I have a friend coming up this weekend, might want to get in touch with Julie and Tim, because this is a place that you can get away and get away from it all. Like if you got a book to write, if you got some product to work on, if you got some marketing to create, like that's a great place to go. Did you guys freeze? Did we lose them? Tim, did we lose everything? What's happening on you over there?
Nothing's happening.
Uh-oh. Huh. I think we might have lost signal. Oh no. Satan. It's resistance. Resistance trying to do it again. All right, let's see if we have internet. Yeah, I have internet here. View options. There. Looks like it's back to us. I don't know what happened with Tim and Julie. So they're up there. By the way, that place, the one thing that you might not want to do up there is very heavy internet-based stuff, because they're at the top of a mountain. I don't even know how they get internet out there. They have internet, but there's no phone. At least I couldn't get my phone. So what I was saying, if you're interested, and we'll put links in the show descriptions, if you need to get away, do some planning, do some writing, do some reading, or you just want to break and like check out for a while, they have an Airbnb up there you can stay in. It's very nice. It's 2 bedrooms, 2 bath, and we just stayed there. That's where Betsy and I went. I'm going to take my mom up there. And then also, if you want to contribute to what they're doing and help the mission, I haven't pitched them this idea, but I think I'm going to do like a work to earn program. I'm going to pitch them on where, like, if you come up and help out, maybe you get X amount of days that you get to stay there for vacation and or to hold a workshop there or something like that. Or, they're also looking for donations. If it's in your heart and your call, you're like, hey, I want to donate to this thing, then you could do that as well. Because it's really special and it's cool what they're doing up there. When you go up there, it's just like, oh, you just get away, and it's just beautiful. You could tell their hearts of gold. So yeah, so that's our friends at Seven Springs. They were talking about resistance. Oh, they're back. What happened? Did your computer die, or did internet just go out?
Hey, that's that resistance we're talking about.
I just said that.
That's absolutely it.
Well,
So I was telling people that they could come up there to get away and stay at the Airbnb right now. And then an idea I haven't pitched you guys on, but I think a work to earn program where people could come and help out and earn free nights to vacation or days to hold seminars there, something like that. And that you guys also take donations.
You already offered your mom's services, so you could come.
So my mom and I are going to go up there for a couple of days, and we're just going to pole dance. They just work and help out and help break, save some of that old wood. But then also, if you're local to Boise, or if you want to come in and bring the kids, like how we did those projects with like you could come in, get this reclaimed wood, paint it with the kids, make some or your whoever, and it's like some romantic and cozy up there. And then they have horseshoes they've taken right off of the property because the blacksmith shop was a working shop. So last things is, how can people get involved? And then I'd love to see a live view of the place if you could show it to us.
All right. Well, let's hope the internet stays up for that, but we'll go from there. So a couple things. We've got our website, which is sevenspringsranch.org. We just updated it yesterday with a whole bunch of new information, how to get in touch with us, all the different kind of events we're planning on holding. So sevenspringsranch.org for the website. We're on
Diane
Facebook.
put that in the show notes too.
Do what?
Diane will add that to the show description also.
Okay. And then, we're on Facebook. We've got our Facebook page, Seven Springs Ranch, which is a great way to go and like that page so you can find out what's going on. We're getting better at posting more often. What you have to understand is since we don't have internet except for in the house, we don't take our phones with us. So when we go to work, we work and we don't get pictures of it. So we need to do a better job of sharing what we're doing, like tearing things down or building things up.
But the Facebook page also has all the journey on it. We have documented, there's, when things have happened, we've really put a lot of stuff up there. So that if people wanted to know more about the story, because we were very brief,
Cool. We'll share that on there as well. We'll put a link to the Facebook page as well.
Yeah, and if they go to the website, you can get to our Instagram page, Twitter feed. We just started, we're just starting a YouTube channel because there's so many great videos of things happening, like, pulling buildings down and watching the goats play and watching the turkeys run around. I mean, we have probably 100 wild turkey around here every day. So they just run around the property and we get to see them. So
on the website too, it has how you could get involved. There's items that we need donated. There's also volunteer opportunities, and there's a way for people through the website to go ahead and say, hey, I want to bring a crew and do a work day just to have some fun up there. And, we're always willing to make a big old pot of cowboy stew if people want to come work.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, here, I'll show the website real quick. So you guys, if you go to Seven Springs Ranch, you can check it out, sevenspringsranch.org, and then it has here, donate, and then under that is the different ways to donate if you want to. Are you guys a nonprofit?
yes, we are.
Cool. So you guys could donate, and I talked to your tax people. I assume it would be tax deductible, but you could donate items or service, talks about what they need. And then it's also, you could just probably create it, and it's just kind of fun to go up there and hang out and help. It's the kind of place where when you're there, you just want to help more and like see it come to life. And then for my speaker friends, boy, would it be cool to invest with your own sweat and blood and money into a place where you can hold events later. That's just magnificent. So cool. This has been awesome. Can we get a live view?
Before he goes outside with it, I just wanted to say, you said what would we recommend to businesses? Like what business strategy, really over the course of our lives but how we came together and everything, I think a business strategy we want to leave with people is be extravagantly generous. You were gifted, each of us was gifted this amazing talent or something unique that God gave to each of us. And if we're building our businesses around it or because of it, we were not meant to keep it to ourselves. We were meant to use that gift to bless others, to benefit others. And the more you give, the more it just gets poured back on you. So I would say being extravagantly generous with your time, your talents, and your resources. That kind of matches that thing you drew. But give it, share it, use it for other people, because that's what we were meant to do. We were not meant to hoard our treasures for ourselves. So now you can see a live view.
That's so cool. I love that. Yeah, we didn't even talk about what you guys did before. What did you guys do before?
Everything.
And
that's the amazing thing is over our lifetimes, we have very similar skill sets. We both ran companies. We both had our own businesses. We both worked in the travel industry. I booked huge seminars and speaking events, and I worked for a training company, and God took all that stuff that we had done for a lifetime, and I kept wondering, why am I doing so many different things? Why isn't there this one thing? And now we're going to use all of it here. Every bit of it is going to get to be used now. So don't ever think, man, I'm too old to start that, because we're getting up in age. But you're never too old. God's going to put you in that place where you need to be when you need to be there, and He's going to show you why all that stuff took place in your life. So we did a lot.
Yeah, my normal answer to that is, Jase, I can tell you what I didn't do. I wasn't a doctor. That's the easiest way for me to answer what I did, because from construction to running businesses to being a firefighter to you name it, I did it. And
awesome.
Now I get to use it all up here, which is really cool. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this thing around and walk outside, and I hope the internet stays up.
After you walk out of our messy house, keep looking at them
Yeah.
so you turn it to something pretty.
Yeah. Is that all right? Is that what you want me to do?
Yeah. Show us outside. Just carry it outside. And if we lose you, we'll say bye now. But I want to give people a view of what it looks like live outside there.
All right, here we go.
Maybe you can even point at different things and show us what's what out there.
Got it. I'll do my best. Actually, I'll let Julie point because I'll need to hold the laptop. Here though.
Looks like nope. Now we got signal. We're
We
good.
got you.
What?
We can still see you. The internet's going a little slower, but we can see you.
There's our dog Lily.
Hi, Lily.
Aw.
And so
Show that building on the right. Show the one on the right first. Yeah, that one.
over here, I'm not going any farther because I think we'll lose internet.
Okay.
That is the schoolhouse where we're going to build a couples bunkhouse. It's going to be bedrooms. So if you guys wanted to do a couples retreat here, we will have housing for 24 couples so they can get back together and have conversations after they've discovered some amazing stuff. Are you still there? Did I lose you?
No, we're here.
Okay. And then just down over here where you see this little archway, there'll be another bunkhouse. It'll be a standard style bunkhouse so we can hold other kind of retreats. You can see down right there, this is where the old homestead house is. Over there's where the current event center is. And next to it to the right with the silver roof is going to be the commercial kitchen. And actually that event center is eventually going to be turned into a dining hall that'll seat 200. And then you can't see it from here, but to the south, there'll be another bigger event center, which will hold 300. So you'll be able to go from an event center to a dining hall, to your living quarters, and you're not ever going to have to break anything down.
Can you hear the goats?
No. Can you give us a view of the property? Just kind of sweep it around. Give us a big view.
Sure. I'll do my best. I'm going to take a couple steps. We might lose you now. We'll
Okay.
see. I'm going to hold the laptop up. Hold on.
Is that the goat screaming?
Yes.
It is.
Ha, ha.
They
Yep.
hear me.
Their mama's outside and they're saying, come see us.
Oh, they
that's-
see you?
That's our back property. We have 57 acres here. So if you wanted to hike up to the top of this hill, that's ours. In fact, and then over that way on the other side of this little ridge here is the rest of our property. So we've got we're only on the front 5 acres. And then that little hill right over there, that's all BLM land. And that's what's called Little Butte. There's 800 acres where you guys could go and explore and see and do.
So, Tim, can you show the mountain that's behind the house? So one of the first times I went up there and hung out.
Wow. All right, we're gonna try. That's gonna be tough though.
Right there. You can walk.
Yeah. Okay. So that's
Right
the
there.
that's the house that you stayed in. That's the Airbnb 2-bedroom, 2-bath.
Yeah.
And those are the houses behind us and those are the mountains behind us where it's just really beautiful. And that peak, that tallest peak straight behind us, that's what's called Squaw Butte. And that's a pretty big landmark. In fact, we come into town, we can see our Squaw Butte all the way from Oregon and all the way down into like Marsing and those areas. And it's pretty amazing to know that's where we live.
Cool. So
Wow.
first time I visited on this hill up to the right over there, I'm like, I'll do it with my mouse. Wow. So up
You're
to the
talking
right,
about the deer.
yeah, there were like 8 head of deer peeking over, looking down on us. So like you see deer all
Jase,
across.
I can show you that. Here, I'm going over there. Jase,
Yeah,
Jase,
I hear
hold
you.
on a second.
Okay.
Because the Wi-Fi is right there.
Oh, the Wi-Fi's back there?
Yeah, that's where it actually is.
They even have that school building even has a school bell that works.
Oh, no way.
So while Tim's working out there, you guys, if you're interested, just get in touch with Tim and Julie. Yeah, there it is, right back there. We saw like deer all across there, just checking us out.
Oh, my goodness.
So cool. Isn't that gorgeous? So unfortunately, it was raining when I was there with Betsy, but imagine how little light pollution is out there. Like
Yeah.
it's gonna be just
How's
millions.
that view, Jase?
That's amazing. Love it. Cool.
Yeah, we get deer in this little saddle all the time.
Thanks, Tim. So we'll post everything in the show notes for you guys. Thanks for joining us today. Julie, thank you wherever you are.
Thank you guys.
Thanks,
Oh,
guys.
probably really bright. Sorry about that.
That's fine.
All right, thanks.
Thanks for
Good seeing
taking
you
time out of your
guys.
work day.
We
See
appreciate
you guys later.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Diane. Bye, Jase. Bye, Betsy.
Wherever she is.
Where is she?
Where is she? She's downstairs watching, probably. She's watching on her phone somewhere. So, all right. So, yeah. So if you guys are interested, just get in touch with Tim and Julie from Seven Springs Ranch, and we'll post all of that in the show notes, and you can check out what they're doing. And it is just like a super magical place. And if you ever
Yeah.
want to do a work party, let me know. Maybe we'll all go up together and have a work party. So, last couple things, announcements for this show. Hope you enjoyed the show. Please set alarms to join us every Tuesday at 11 Pacific, 12 Mountain, 1 Central, 2 Eastern
Got it.
for Speakeasy with Jase. And then couple other things. We have a lot of people kind of going through these step backs or wanting to really step up. And one of the things we do on purpose every January is we hold a 4-day intensive called Dynamic Life, and it is designed to get you unleashed and uncapped. As speakers, it's powerful because what's in you is expanded on stage. So we take out negative stuff and we program you with confidence and vitality and energy, and you just radiate. We've had a lot of women say they feel like they look 10 years younger and 10 pounds lighter after coming to this event. And it's not a weight loss event. It's about losing the weight of emotions. So there's that. And then black belt speaker training, that really is when it kicks off in January. So if you're interested at all, get in touch with me, ping me. We have some specials going on for Dynamic Life. And also in January, we have 2 special events. One is Dynamic Life, and that's starting the end of January. And it's a 4-day, I mean, you will be unleashed, and we say new year, new you. It's time to get you unleashed. Your next year is great. And then a little bit earlier in January, I'm going to do a 2-day event here in Boise called Profit Plan, where for 2 days, I'm going to look at you and a small hand-selected group of people, look at your messaging, your movement, and your money. Like, what can your messaging be to make more sales? What can your movement be? And then what does your money plan look like, meaning your coaching program and your ascension model? What products can you create? What could a year-long coaching program look like? It's specifically built for coaches, speakers, authors, trainers. So if you're interested, either one of those, just send us a ping, let us know, and we'll get you all the information you need. And it's just been great. I'm so glad you guys joined us. I hope your holidays are going swimmingly. Anything you want to say?
Swimmingly.
Swimmingly.
I like that.
Swimmingly. Anything you would like to add?
No, I think that covers it all. Thank you guys for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Speakeasy with Jase. And you guys, I love answering questions live. If you ever have questions, shoot those over. And just to
Absolutely.
recap, Scott Smith says Boise State. Scott's an old brother of mine from Florida State. September 19th. See you there if I survive Atlanta, right? By the way, you know what? So, yeah, Florida State, my alma mater, is playing Boise State next year here in Boise. Isn't that crazy? So, anyway, it's been great. So glad you guys joined. And Dynamic Life, if you really want to get this year different, just ping us. We're having the website built for it, but in the meantime, ping us. It's a chance to really imagine if you were confident and on fire, what could you do this year? So thanks, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks,
for
guys.
joining. Bye.